Taurus, this video found you because you've been doing something these past few months that most people never manage to do. Something silent, invisible to the naked eye, but that shines like a beacon to those who know where to look. You didn't know you were being watched. You had no idea that every difficult choice, every moment you stood firm when it would have been easier to give up, every time you chose to do the right thing even without an audience, all of it was preparing you for this very moment. While 90% of Tauruses go their separate ways without ever waking up to what I'm about to reveal, you crossed an invisible threshold. You passed tests you didn't know you were facing, and now the universe needs you to know it. It wasn't luck that brought you here. It wasn't coincidence that this title caught your attention in a different way, that something inside you recognized these words as if they were specifically directed at you. It was recognition. It was your soul recognizing a truth that your conscious mind is still processing. You are no longer who you were 6 months ago. Something fundamental has shifted within you, and this shift has qualified you to receive information that will remain hidden from most. Over the past few months, you've been feeling a restlessness unlike any other. It's not common anxiety or fleeting frustration. It's a growing sense of urgency, as if you're pregnant with something important, but don't know exactly what. As if your spirit is trying to tell you that it's time for something to be born through you, but you're not yet clear on what it is. This restlessness isn't a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that you're ready for something bigger. Taurus, your nature is to build lasting things in the physical world. You have a special connection with matter, a unique ability to take abstract ideas and transform them into tangible reality. While other signs dream, you materialize. While others plan, you execute. While others talk, you create. This ability is no accident of birth. It is a specific spiritual tool you brought to this plane of existence. And now it's time for you to understand why you have this gift and what you need to do with it. The 10% of Tauruses who receive this message are those who have undergone a specific process of refinement recently. You've lost things you thought were permanent. Relationships that seemed solid have dissolved. Situations you had carefully built have crumbled, and each loss has taught you something fundamental, that you are not what you build. You are the builder. External structures may crumble, but your ability to create remains intact. This understanding is what separates you from the 90% who still identify their worth with their external creations, who destroy themselves when what they built is destroyed. You've learned that your essence is indestructible, that your capacity to begin again, to rebuild, to manifest anew is infinite. And this hard-won wisdom is precisely what qualifies you for what lies ahead. You have been chosen to be an energetic anchor at this specific moment in human history. This means you will receive ideas, inspirations, and creative impulses that are not just for you. They are meant to be manifested in the physical world in ways that benefit many others. You will be a channel of abundance, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Your prosperity will cease to be personal and become collective. But before you can take on this role, you need to understand some fundamental truths. The first is that being chosen isn't a privilege, it's a responsibility. You weren't chosen because you're better than other Tauruses. You were chosen because you're ready to shoulder something that requires strength, persistence, and the ability to manifest that you've developed through difficult experiences. The second truth is that you can no longer operate the same way you did before. The old building methods, based on control, excessive security, fear of change, will no longer work for you. You will need to learn to build with flow, to create with confidence, to manifest from a place of faith rather than fear of loss. This goes against every safety instinct you have, and that's precisely why few succeed in making this transition. The third truth is that you will need to share. Taurians are generally protective of what they achieve, careful with their resources, and cautious about who to trust. But in the new phase you are entering, You will have to learn that the more you give, the more you receive. That abundance doesn't come from hoarding, but from circulating. That true security lies not in what you hoard, but in what you create. Taurus, as you absorb these words, something is shifting within you. Perhaps you're feeling a different vibration, a tingle of recognition, as if every cell in your body knows this message is true, even as your mind is still processing what it means for your practical life. I know you've been carrying doubts about your purpose. You've been wondering if you truly have something special to offer the world, or if you're just another person trying to survive. You've been questioning whether your dreams are realistic, or if you should settle for a safer, more predictable life. But what if I told you that these doubts were part of your training? That you needed to question everything so that when you finally discovered your truth, it would be unshakable. That every moment of uncertainty was strengthening your foundation so you could build something extraordinary upon it. Leave a comment now saying, "I am ready to receive what has been prepared for me." It's not just a statement, it's a declaration of availability. It's you signaling to the universe that you've passed the tests, learned the lessons, and are ready to take on your mission. And when you write this, you're creating an energetic bridge that allows other Taurians, who have also been chosen, to recognize and strengthen each other. Now that you know you've been chosen, you need to understand what this means in practice. Over the next few months, you'll begin receiving downloads of information, ideas that come out of nowhere, insights that appear at unexpected moments, sudden clarity about projects that seemed impossible. These aren't your ideas in the conventional sense. They're transmissions you're being used to receive and manifest. The difference between the chosen 10% and the 90% who don't receive this message lies in how they respond to these transmissions. Most people receive inspirations, but then question them to death, analyze them until they become paralyzed, doubt them until they give up. They let the fear of imperfection prevent manifestation. You, the chosen one, will need to learn to act on these inspirations, even when you don't have all the answers, even when the path isn't completely clear. Taurus, your nature led you to believe that you needed to have everything mapped out before you began, that you needed to ensure the safety of each step before taking the next. But what's coming to you now can't be controlled that way. It will require you to trust the process, to take steps without seeing the entire staircase, to build while the project is still being revealed to you. This will be uncomfortable. It will challenge every part of you that craves stability and predictability. But remember, you were chosen precisely because you have the strength to do this. Because your manifestation ability is so powerful that even operating with faith rather than absolute certainty, you can still create concrete, lasting results. Signs that you're on the right path will come in specific forms. You'll notice that things flow more easily when you act on these inspirations. Doors that were previously locked will open. The right people will appear exactly when you need them. Resources that seemed impossible to obtain will manifest in unexpected ways. This isn't luck, it's confirmation that you're aligned with your greater purpose. On the other hand, when you try to force things using your old methods of control and excessive security, you'll encounter resistance. Carefully crafted plans won't work. Strategies that should work will fail in frustrating ways. The universe will literally block the paths that no longer work for you, forcing you to rely on the new method you're learning. A special part of being chosen is that you'll become a magnet for people who need what you can create. But not all of these people will be compatible with your mission. Some will try to use you as a source of resources without reciprocity. Others will want you to build for them, instead of teaching them how to build for themselves. You'll need to develop keen discernment about who deserves your time, energy, and manifestation ability. The temptation will be to fall into the old Taurus pattern of helping everyone who asks, of being the steady rock for everyone around you, even when it completely drains you. But your mission now is greater than that. You weren't chosen to be a savior to those who don't want to be saved. You were chosen to be a beacon, showing by example that it is possible to manifest abundance and share it in a way that lifts everyone up together. Taurus, there's a reason only 10% receive this message and 90% remain unaware of it. The remaining 90% still need to learn lessons you've already mastered. They still need to undergo refinements you've already gone through. They're still stuck in patterns you've already transcended. It's not that they're less capable, it's that they're not yet at the point in their evolution where they can execute what will be asked of you. And that means you'll feel alone at times. You'll try to share these revelations with other Tauruses, and they won't understand. They'll think you're dreaming too much, taking too many risks, being irresponsible with the safety you should prioritize. This will hurt, especially coming from people you respect and love. But you need to understand that they're looking through lenses you no longer use. They still see the world in a way you've evolved beyond. Your occasional loneliness isn't a sign you're wrong. It's confirmation that you're on the right path. Pioneers always walk alone at first. They're always questioned, always seen as risky or reckless by those still operating within old paradigms. But when you manifest the results of what you're creating, when your new way of building bears visible fruit, those same questioners will want to understand how you did it. What's being asked of you now is working faith. Not passive faith that just waits and hopes, but active faith that acts even without guarantees. Faith that builds, even when the foundation isn't fully in place. Faith that invests even when you're not absolutely certain of the return. This kind of faith goes against the entire Taurian instinct for security, and that's precisely why it's so transformative when a Taurian finally manages to put it into practice. You'll discover something surprising. When you act with this working faith, the universe not only supports your efforts, it multiplies your results. What you build with spiritual confidence manifests in far more powerful and far-reaching ways than what you built with effort and control. It's as if you've discovered a secret of manifestation that was available all along, but that you couldn't access while operating in the old way. Taurus, in the coming days and weeks, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts in your reality. Unexpected conversations that open up new possibilities, information that reaches you at the exact moment you need it, resources appearing from unlikely sources. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmation that you're being supported in this new phase. But you'll also face tests. Situations that seem safe and stable will present themselves, trying to pull you back into old patterns. Offers that appeal to your safety instinct but would distract you from your greater mission. People who want you to be who you were because it was more comfortable for them. These tests aren't obstacles, they're opportunities to prove to yourself that you've truly changed. Each time you choose the path of faith over the path of controlled security, you strengthen your new identity. Each time you act on received inspiration rather than paralyzing analysis, you establish yourself more firmly in the role for which you were chosen. Each time you share rather than hoard, you expand your capacity to receive even more. And here's something crucial you need to understand. Being chosen doesn't mean your life will be easy. In fact, it may become more challenging in certain ways, but challenges change in nature. Instead of fighting against seemingly impossible external circumstances, you will challenge yourself internally to grow beyond your own self-imposed limitations. The fears you will face will no longer be fears of not having enough, of losing what you've built, of feeling insecure. They will be fears of success, of visibility, of assuming the power that was always yours but that you kept hidden. Fears of being fully seen, of being held accountable for what you create, of no longer being able to hide behind the mediocrity that pretended to be humility. Taurus, the final message I need to give you is this. You were not chosen for a comfortable life. You were chosen for a meaningful life, to create things that matter, that last, that positively impact the lives of many. To be an example that it is possible to manifest true abundance and share it in a way that uplifts everyone. to show that true security comes not from hoarding, but from trusting in your infinite capacity to create. The 90% who don't get this message will continue building their small fortresses, protecting their limited resources, living in sophisticated survival mode. And that's fine with them. That's where they need to be right now. But you've been called to something greater, to build in a way that transforms not only your life, but the reality around you. When you look back years from now, you'll realize this was the moment everything changed, where you stopped trying to control life and started co-creating with it, where you went from being just another Taurus trying to feel secure to becoming a conscious channel of manifestation that benefits many, where you finally accepted that you were made for the extraordinary, not the ordinary. The choice is now yours. You can try to revert to old patterns, pretend you didn't receive this message, continue operating the way you always have. But you know you can't genuinely do this anymore. Something has awakened within you that can no longer be put to sleep. A door has opened that can no longer be closed. A truth has been revealed that can no longer be ignored. Or you can fully accept that you were chosen. You can embrace the responsibility that comes with it. You can take the next step even without seeing the whole staircase. You can start building from faith instead of fear. You can become what you always knew deep down you were capable of being. If this video impacted you deeply, if you felt something shift within you as you absorbed these words, share your declaration of readiness in the comments. Acknowledge that you saw the message, that you understood the call, and that you are ready to take on what has been prepared for you. Subscribe to the channel because this is just the first broadcast for those chosen. You'll need ongoing guidance on how to operate at this new level, how to navigate the challenges that lie ahead, and how to stay strong when you doubt whether you're truly qualified for this. Turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming messages, specifically for the 10% who have crossed the threshold. Your mission is just beginning. You have been chosen. Now it's time to honor that choice with courageous actions and unwavering faith. The universe is watching, supporting, and waiting to see what you will manifest now that you know who you truly are.